Today, we're going to be talking about creating opportunities and mentoring young people. It has to be an add-on to everything else we're talking about in terms of what's going on in the classrooms, what else is going on outside the classrooms in the communities that's helping young people, avoid the pitfalls of urban life. Joining me now is Linda Odom, founder of Unlimited Success, and Maurice Gunn, who's also working with Unlimited Success. Thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Maurice, you have a lot of experience and had a past experience in being a promoter and getting people together for things that aren't necessarily, many people won't consider positive, but certainly fun. But something turned around your mind and said, let me use this energy and the skills I have to gather and bring young people together for something that's really constructive and positive.
And also because I was a troubled youth too, so I pretty much can relate and I understand the certain situations that they're going through that most people won't understand.
Well, tell me about growing up. You grew up here in Chicago?
Yes, well, I pretty much was in Chicago, then my mother moved me to the suburbs. But the thing that was instilled into me from me living in the urban community, I took it to the suburbs and act out, because you pretty much are what you eat, And so I grew up from seeing this and being involved in that. So once we moved to the suburbs, it was in me. And then I ended up coming back to Chicago and doing more stuff, getting into more trouble. So pretty much as a youth, I was pretty much in a lot of trouble. So I kind of understand the same things that they're going through and why they're going through it.
But you managed to find a way to become an entrepreneur and kind of start your own business and doing things for yourself. What is it that turned your focus around in terms of the energy you're putting in?
That I made it. And I'm like, if I made it having the same problems, the same issues that they had, maybe I could teach them the same situations, teach them the same things that I learned. The same lessons, the rights and wrongs. So once I made all the wrong moves and say, look, that's not working, then we make the right moves. And once I started making the right moves, I found peace. And I found like, wow, so let me take all this information, come back and help save their lives.
And that's the main thing, is saving lives. I see you have we say no, stop the violence. That's your main focus, is to try to reduce and stop the violence.
Right.
In your assessment, what's going on here in the city of Chicago with young people?
One, people is trying to solve the answer from the outside instead of getting people that's inside. You team up with someone that's in the inside that actually know the problems, the intimate details, and sympathize with the problems. Then they kind of can have a better understanding of it. Like, she's doing a tremendous job on the outside, and I want to give my information that I know from the inside so we can come together and solve the problems. And that's what a lot of organizations is not doing. The people that they locking up, believe it or not, that's information that they can actually attain to find out the problem that they don't see. And then once they find that problem out, then they can say, okay, well, this is how we can adjust it, because we heard it from the source and not from the outside looking in.
And that seems to be the question in people's mind whenever they see the headlines of another young person killed or another young person shot, is what were they thinking? What was this person thinking? There's a focus in certain parts of the activist community that want to focus on where the guns are coming from, that the guns are the problem. I have my own thoughts about that, but Maurice, just to be straight up, are the guns the problem?
Actually, matter of fact, it's a twofold. That's sort of like a two-part question. We had this conversation before. The guns and where they're coming from, believe it or not, are traceable. And that's a major point that everybody closed their eyes to. These guns, every gun that you find on the street is traceable to where it came from, who manufactured it, what store distributed, everything. And they use the news pretty much, or the news is being used to make the kids or to have the guns as the person, or the people that's actually to frown on, or the people that's actually causing the violence. But if this thing wasn't accessible to them, or easily accessible to them, then there'd be less violence. But the media will shine the light on the people that's doing the violence, but not shine the light on the manufacturers or the whereabouts of these guns. Every gun have a serial number. Every gun can be traced. Even if they scratch it off, they still got ways to get it back. So they can find the whereabouts and the manufacturers and the distributors of every gun that hit the street.